Ekelle, Ray Lovely, Tamisha,
Delta, Marie V, yeah. All these fake, just straight up to my.
So Ride or Die is a documentary about the Toronto hip-hop scene and the sexual harassment that women can face when they're trying to start their career. We're going to have a discussion, and we're going to talk to some men in the industry, some women in the industry, and we're going to come up with some solutions, if there is a solution. We want to know why it's happening, who it's happening to, does social media have an influence on this, and what we can do as a community. We don't want anyone getting harassed, and we definitely do want everyone to have the information about it. My name is Ekelle, and I'm a rapper, a blogger, a host, and I guess now a filmmaker from Toronto, and this is Ride or Die.
to find someone to hold it down, but all you niggas trapping. I ain't playing, it's my future that I really mapping. Who gonna be there when I blow up and they stop napping? Sleeping on me cause they really didn't think I had it. I got the sauce, boy, all you gotta do is grab it. Stop playing, we a 2-for-1 package. Who don't wanna drink when they got a good salmon? But for real, you know the deal. I got an attitude cause I use it as a shield.
The profession has historically been seen as kind of male, and so when women are, going in as artists, they're having that challenge because they're in very male-dominated spaces like music engineering. If you probably went to the colleges where that's studied, it's predominantly male.
Yeah.
So there tends to be this domination of this male sort of culture. So how this relates to culture is that you end up having this gendered culture, which is very masculine, and so when women are entering those spaces, they're being seen as objects. So you're kind of seen, and the only kind of reference for that male for the female might be, well, a woman is, potential sexual partner, and that's the only way I see her. I don't see her as, an equal collaborator. I don't see her as some type of having the intellectual potential, or as an artist. Perhaps they're not seeing you that way. They're kind of objectifying you, and that is totally related to the culture. And one of the things that happens is within certain occupations, such as many occupations you might want to consider, but in the field of hip-hop in general, it's been gendered as being very male. So when women go into those spaces, they're encountering these types of barriers and challenges because of the entire culture. So it's about figuring out how you can navigate those spaces to kind of create space for yourself, because it's a challenge, because you're going into this sort of very male dominated.
What do you know about sexual harassment towards females?
So I know that it's something that's definitely happening. For the most part, in the few studios that I've been a part of, there has been talk of certain clients who came in and were treated less than professionally. Even just something as simple as trying to get their song recorded or coming in for a consultation, being offered to do some sort of trade-off that was not necessarily what is intended, right? The professional way of doing things.
So some kind of sex trade-off, you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And and I feel like that's just been a constant that's been reoccurring. And I do know some women who have said that people have withheld masters from them because they haven't been able to give them what they want, per se, right? It's beyond money.
I know that it exists. It's a real thing. I know that I've seen it firsthand. I know that it's not right. I've seen it. I've been working with people who've crossed the line, or their motive was to make sexual advances. And to be honest with you, time and time again, you could be in a studio with a bunch of guys and there's a girl there. As soon as the girl leaves, not even just a studio, just a work environment in general, there's always comments that are made.
Yeah.
Right? And, you don't have to partake in them, you don't have to participate in them. But there's always comments that are made. But as far as the music industry goes, I've been in the studio with guys, and we're recording a female, for example. And there's all kind of flirting going on, and sexual references and jokes, and and then advances, and it's just too easy to I don't want to say take advantage, but too easy to want to get involved sexually with the opposite sex when you're working with them.
Yes.
Right? So whether or not it's welcomed or it's not welcomed, that's the difference between harassment non-harassment.
I know that I know a few females that have complained about how some men conduct themselves, but it wasn't in a say sexual harassment way.
Okay.
That being said, I do know that sexual harassment, not just in this industry, but in a whole, is a real reality.
It is.
And you know, it's kind of fucked up that it's like that. But at the end of the day, I also say that we're all human at the end of the day, right? And you, as attractive as you may be, I have to have a level of respect for you.
Exactly.
Right? And if I don't have respect for you as a woman, as a human, right, then I won't have respect for you as anything else.
This industry is a male-dominated industry. We know that. Not to say that that gives any kind of special privileges to a man to be able to sort of force their hand on things. But I do think that a lot of the sexualization in the industry promotes this idea that the women in the industry are more than down to do these things. Yeah, they want to do these things. They're prone to do these things. And therefore, the men in the industry have this idea, okay, well, they must be easy, right? So I think that might be part of the problem. Not to say that, you know, just because your brand is about sex doesn't mean you're going to perform sexual activities. It's still a profession. It's still a business. At the end of the day, if that's your business, it should be treated just like any other business.
Exactly.
Right? I think that's where the line has to be sort of drawn with that. Yeah.
So especially imagine, like, let's say you take hip hop for example. You could be young, starting out in your career. You might be very worried or concerned that your career may be affected because it's a relatively small industry, especially in Toronto.
Yes.
So a lot of producers may know other producers, and the same goes for many industries, especially that are male dominated. Is a lot of them are very insular, and there's a lot of you don't know who knows who.
Exactly.
So then there's this intimidation factor of like, oh, if I complain, then maybe I'll get a reputation as being difficult or being hard to work with. And for professionals, that's probably I think for any profession, that's always a negative thing. Like, you never want to be seen as being hard to work with, because it kind of it can definitely affect your ability to get future work, especially if you're a freelancer. So I think there's that fear of repercussions, and it's the same with any type of whistleblowing. Is like, what's going to happen to me if I complain? If I complain, then I'm going to be perceived a certain way. I think that the more established you get in your career, perhaps you develop more of a sense of control over your career and maybe more authority, and you're able to do it. But people who are just starting out in their career, they are particularly vulnerable.
I don't need to say it's okay. Oh, good. Maybe just some black coffee.
You told us boys I got more issues than Vanity Fair.
Over the years, there have been times where guys try to take advantage of certain things, set up a business meeting, and then they try to come on to you, and it's just a lot of things. I've had things that are just like, okay, this is a waste of my time, and more serious issues that have been like more detrimental to me. But I think I've told people I'm a music artist, and like guys have been like, oh, yo, let's network, and then they're like, oh, do you want to like dance in my video? Knowing that I had told them that I'm a music artist. So just like being taken seriously, I think it's like, I've realized it's really important to like be firm about who you are and like what you're comfortable doing, because it's easy for people to just take advantage. I've had people, act inappropriately and try to silence me about it after. I've had, just not being taken seriously, and it's just like, at the end of the day, it just like makes you work that much harder to show them that, you know, you're serious about what you're doing, I guess.
So is there any particular situation in your career thus far that you feel that you've been sexually harassed or targeted that you want to speak on, but you feel comfortable speaking on, of course?
To be honest, I don't feel comfortable speaking on it at this point. I mean, it's a heavy topic, so
it is.
Yeah, I feel like I will get to a point where I can give specifics, but I'm just not at that point yet.
I feel like there's so many times where as a young artist and a female, you get into a situation and there's this big powerful person, like you said, who has a million connections, and you feel the pressure, like, oh, I should go along with this. I would be stupid not to. Like, they can open the world for me, but are they actually going to? Probably not.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not, well, first of all, like, if they want like something sexual in exchange for something else, it's like they'll always hold that over your head. Like me personally, I'd rather get it myself so no one can say like, oh, you owe me. But sometimes it's not even as much of like as just like a sexual exchange that they're expecting. Sometimes it's just like undermining you, or, you know, I've had people who have no like say of like how I'm branded telling me like, you know, you should probably wear a sexier shirt. It's like even small things like that. It's like, and it's not from like a fashion perspective. It's like someone who has no like say in the matter, and that's just like stuff that is just like, it just needs to stop.
I want females to understand the power that we have. The cypher's about like having the female artists display their art all on one beat, no bias, you know what I mean? Toronto, you can be the judge, the world can be the judge. I just kind of put that platform there for, you know, artists to represent themselves. So that's what it's about, really.
You ain't work till your blood come out that sweat. Doing things in my other life I might regret.
It's not even just about coming together. I mean, we are really, really talented people, you know what I mean? And I just want to showcase that, because this is really an all-female run thing. I mean, like, from the people who make the flyers, you know what I mean? Females, the DJ, female, the producer, female, the videographer, female. Like, it's really female run, you know? And I mean, the message is like, females can really do this.
Please recognize who you messing with.
Some of the challenges that I've encountered so far, like as being a female artist in the industry, a lot of the faux pas that everybody mentions hasn't really come to me, but I have noticed that for some of the males in the industry, they want a little bit more than just whatever you're paying for. You know, some of them might come to you and say that like they will help you and they believe in your career and stuff like that, but when you get there, they might not have the equipment or things like that can help you progress. So they use those things to lure women in. I never really had much of an encounter like as far as sexually harassing goes, but I have noticed that I've seen some artists come and go that are like, they mentioned to me that when they've gone to a studio or something like that, if the money hasn't been discussed, is because sometimes the producers want sexual favors and things like that from women to compensate for the fact of them not paying. So it's like, even if you have your money, don't bother paying, you know? Just provide me with sex and I'll do your work for you. What I understand of what I see, the people that harass people the most are people that are closest to you. So yeah, a stranger could do it on the street and get away, but how comfortable are you if you go to your session and then you have your producer trying to hit on you when you just came to do your work? So now you're thinking you have to engage, you have to encourage what this person is saying, or your work is not going to get done. And I find that as women, we're always caught up in stuff like that, you know? Like I said, I rarely noticed it, but I've had encounters where I've gotten messages from producers, like, in my DMs, like, hey, I want to work with you, but they're calling me baby, sweetie, honey, stuff like that. And I'm right off the bat, I'm like, I'm not working with you because that's not professional. You can't come to me, you don't know me, and you don't know me as an artist, you don't know me as a person, and you're trying to show me your business but you're addressing me as baby, honey, and stuff like that. That to me is degrading. It's as if you see me as an object or like your little puppet or little dolly or something, and it's very insulting. So I have had that happen maybe 3 times. So I would count that as harassment as well. And I didn't work with those people because I thought to myself, if I go there, how safe will I be if this person is calling me honey, sweetie, baby, and all that stuff when it's supposed to be, professional. And if you know that you're not out here to fuck your way to the top, make sure that you carry yourself as such, even, just carry yourself as such. Make sure that you're very adamant about it when you're talking to those producers and stuff like that, Protect yourself, always be aware of your surroundings. I can't stress that enough. Try to stay away from situations where people are not professional. Try to stay away from situations where there's mixed feelings, either about the music or about personal, try to stay away from things like that. Make it adamant that you're here for your business, you're here for your profession, and chances are you're going to find that most men like that, and they will back off and they won't push themselves on you in that way.
Amazing.
Do you think social media, things like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, etc., have an effect on how these sexual harassment incidents are taking place?
Yeah, so social media plays an interesting role. I don't think it directly is involved in allowing sexual acts to occur inside of studios because no one posts that they're having sex in the studio. No one talks about sexual harassment in the studio on social media. In any way, right? Would be a positive or negative. Now, what I do think though is that there is a way that, again, a brand is portrayed, right? If someone is a sex idol as well as an artist, which is perfectly acceptable, right? Yeah, it's an image. That's something that's heavily displayed on social media. And when that person is going to come into the studio and that producer is going to see their social media, they might get the idea that, oh, this person wants to have sex. And therefore, instead of paying money, maybe she's going to do sexual favors for that trade. Now, is he asking her to make that trade-off? Right? Or is he just simply completely assuming that she's down to make that trade-off? That's, I think, where a line is drawn, again. Right? Because if your brand is sex, it doesn't mean you're going to have sex all the time. Right? You know that sells. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's your ploy. At that point, a producer should still treat that person professionally and respectfully, just like any other contact he or she has.
I find that social media is a platform where people want to be famous by any means, no matter what, right? You could be talented, have a gift. This media platform is where people go to. But then you have people that don't have a talent in the world, but they got D cups, right? And they want the world to know that they got D cups. Now, to me, that's whack. If that's the avenue that you're choosing to go down, find a profession where you can do that. There is a profession where you can, yeah, where you can succeed from that. But I mean, I think social media has given any average Joe Blow, whether it be man or woman, a platform to be something they're completely not.
There's so many internet thugs out there.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to have a spine because you're sitting behind your computer screen. And, just the fact that it's like the DMs, people, there's so many stories of inappropriate, DM messages, and it's just, I think because a lot of the music industry is online, of just discovering artists, discovering music, it kind of comes with the territory.
If sex is always in your face, then you're going to think about sex, right? If stripper culture becomes pop culture, then that's what it is, and that's how you're going to look at women, right? If America elects a president that says he goes up and grabs women by the pussy, then there's a lot of people that are going to be influenced by that and think that that's okay.
Yeah.
So there's tons of influences out there that influence, especially young minds, right? And there's this image, and it's unfortunate because again, pop culture tends to put things on a pedestal.
Toronto chicks, put your hands in the air.
For hip hop, it's a little different. When men come at you, they usually, if they come at you to work with a female artist, they kind of know what they're coming at. They're a producer, they know they're going to try this. They know they're going to offer you a little something to smoke, something to drink, like whatever it is to get you to all relaxed. But they know ahead of time if they're going to prey on you. And women, we know if we're going to prey on the producers too, or if we're going to prey on the CEO, if we're going to prey on the stylist, if we're going to prey, we know too. So kind of both ways. So yes,
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
So as a woman, you have to you don't have to downplay it. You can use it for your advantage, or you can't use it for your advantage. At the end of the day, it comes down to the work.
Yeah. It's hard making a killing, baby. Sometimes it got me feeling lazy. I don't know what to do. The reasons why I say
I think that the solution, for the most part, is going to have to come from both sides. The one side, women not accepting and leaving any ties that are placed towards a place that would do that to them. So if the studio is going to do that to them, they should leave, right? No business should go to that studio from those women. Be strong, essentially, right? And as men, right, there should be the ability to just be a professional man inside of this workplace environment.
I think creating more awareness about the issue is key, so that more men are aware of the issue and how it may be affecting, the women who they work with and come into contact with. So in terms of like strategies, definitely raising awareness, and I think it can be challenging. We talk about this in our class, Gender and Race at Work, about how do you feel comfortable actually verbally challenging people, and what type of spaces can you do that? And it's really hard, and I think you have to really kind of play it by ear. So if you're in a situation where you're all alone, and you feel comfortable, you can actually talk about it, like verbally actually address the issue. And if you're with a group, definitely if you have somebody with you, then you can actually directly raise the issue. One of the things that I thought was interesting was I was having a conversation with somebody about this issue, like how do you address whether it's race or sexism, and they talked about asking questions and saying that, like, so you can actually say, like, why are you acting this way, or why? And actually what's interesting is you get them to kind of, or force them to kind of think themselves, like why they're doing what they're doing.
But you need to like know what the boundaries are and the rules, right? So when it's about work, it's about work. We're here to work, right? We're not here to fool around and get distracted. It's about the work, right? And again, it's about being professionalism. So I think what we need to do is handle your business, right? So the people that are in power positions need to really recognize that they need to be professional.
Collaboration is great. I think that that's one way of getting sort of mutual respect for us as professionals, and ways to get more women in the industry and to get them more recognized, so that they'll be role models for other younger ones coming up who are interested in rapping, for instance, and see the role being limited to just singing or doing background vocals, right? Which you kind of see that all the time. So I think it's really important to have those types of collaborations between professionals, and also like even from the background, like even like writing, actually collaborating from the stage of even writing, not just getting into the stage of performing, but actually doing the background work, writing. It's also excellent. And that will be, you know, working in studios together collaboratively. I think all that sort of stuff will be great for, you know, we're reducing kind of the gendered sort of stigmatization of women that we see in the industry.
Hey again, y'all, it's your girl Ekelle. And just before we call wraps on this documentary, I just want to tell you 5 things that you can do to help prevent and put a stop to sexual harassment towards females in Toronto's hip hop scene. So thing number 5. So if you're a woman, you go to a studio and somebody acts inappropriately towards you, address it with them right away. If that person is not apologetic about their behavior, then definitely tell other people. Let people know that this person's acting in that way so that other people don't fall into it and get hurt as well. Or if you're going to a new studio, don't be afraid to bring somebody along with you so that they can see that this person's professional, you're getting what you asked for, you're getting your money's worth, and nothing funny happens. Or even tell a friend, tell a family member, just let people know where you are so that if something does go wrong, they know where to find you, they know who's involved, and they know what to do next. 3, don't be afraid to be who you are as an artist. Don't change the way you dress, do not change your lyrics, do not change the time that you're available to go to the studio, because no matter who you are as a person, you do not deserve to be sexually harassed. It's not your fault that this person does not know how to act. So keep being you the way you do it and be true to yourself. 2, another way we can prevent sexual harassment is to get more women involved. So if you're a woman, work with other women. If you're not a woman, work with us too, because why? Women do dope shit. And the last thing you can do is check out this list of female positive spaces at the end of the documentary. These people are serious about their work, serious about treating you with respect, and serious about helping women elevate themselves in the hip hop scene.
Come again, sir. I can't trust her. Nah, down it. Whatever you need, you can count on me. Yeah. Coffee to your cream. Done, know I'm ready when you call me to the scene. If you don't put in work, then you ain't on the team. Who's down for you when you say come through? No stitches are real, don't lie. Loyalty is priceless. Run up on a fake. Mean it when you look me in the eye. Only if you ride or die, then you know about this life. Each and every single day, we
I did it.
don't apply. Only if you ride or die, then you know about this life. Each and every single day, we don't apply.
Loyalty, what you know about me? Been here since day one. I'm not what you wanna be. I'm a ride or die. I put my life on the line. Keep it rugged, keep thugging. You know I never tell no lie. Through the good and the bad times, I stand by your side. Try and tear us apart. We, Bonnie and Clyde, you crossed the line. Mama wish she had an abortion. I'll do any and everything. Hold down my #1.